Alright, we are live here at Auto Club Season 14 IFAR. Got Duel in the booth with me.
Hello.
We're gonna have Kale, but Supercross do be interesting, so we'll probably see him next time. But yeah.
What race number? I believe this is race number. Let me double check to be safe so I don't get this wrong. Race number 6 of the season here in the Season 14 IFAR Championship takes us to Fontana, California for tonight's race at Auto Club. Looking to be a good one of the faster tracks on the schedule and one of the widest as well. Plenty of space to run, plenty of space to move. Somehow you'll still have a 20-car pileup.
Yep.
Right now, as we're currently 12 minutes to go in practice before we get to qualifying, it is the 3 of Nicholas Badimlik, currently fastest in practice. The 93, second on the board of Jovan Anderson. So, good day so far for the Toyotas. I think, no, is he in a Toyota or a Chevy? He's in a Toyota. Okay, I got that
Yep.
right, Yippee.
Number 3 Toyota.
I'm not going to go over the points this race, but I will mention who's going to be your new points leader after tonight, Joshua Clements, currently running 8th on board right now. So Diesel Motorsports looking poised to potentially get their hands on another I know they've run championships out of here. I don't know. I think this might be their first for IFAR, potentially. They currently set 4th in the Constructors, but they currently lead the Drivers' Championship with a 6-point gap between himself and Dunn Laprade. So, big look out for the 92 and 74 cars today. As I say that, Joshua Clements is currently hanging himself off of the pit wall. So, we're off to a great start.
Yep. But yeah, we got about 10 minutes left in practice, and like you said, everyone getting their practice laps in. Auto Club, it's unfortunately a track that is not canon to reality anymore due to corporate greed, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's definitely.
These things happen, unfortunately. We could have kept on with Peak, but unfortunately, money.
Yeah. But yeah, this track, it drives. It's got a lot to it. I think the name of the game tonight is going to be kind of the same as what it's been the past few races, just managing that track position while also managing your stuff to make it.
The tires here are going to be a lot more of a factor for tonight. Most leagues will use the 2012 version of Auto Club. This is the older 2018 version, so that pavement's more worn out. It's going to be a lot harder on the tires here, especially with those high loads they're going to be taking into that fast corner. Holding onto those tires is going to be a really big key tonight. Pit strategy, this race tonight being 60 laps, might be a big factor if we can keep it green. However, we probably won't, let's be honest. Somehow, it doesn't matter how much room you give them to run, they'll always run out of it. So, might be a bit of a chaotic race, but if they can keep it going, you really want to take care of those tires tonight. Kirsten Bell currently sitting in the 4th position here in practice.
Pretty fast so far. It'll be interesting to see how they'll do during the race.
Alright, so yeah, right now, constructors-wise, since we're nearing the halfway point of the season, we're not right there yet. They've bumped themselves up to 15 races this season, but we're getting there. Constructors-wise, No Steel Racing is off to a flying start, 123 points ahead, 123 points up there on the board. Scuderia Carmona Racing, second on the constructors with 82 points. Diesel Motorsports, third right now with 76. There's been a few struggling teams not really been able to capitalize on points today. Melling has only gotten 1 point. DV Racing's only have 5 on the board. And 10th on down have failed to score a single point this season. So there's definitely quite the split between the contending teams and some of the more independent programs. I'm surprised Melling has gotten points on the board at all, considering the fact that that team consists of only that number 12 car of Victor Delgado III, but they've managed to get themselves onto that constructor's list right now. He's actually right now just in the top 10 here in practice with a 39-1 sitting 10th on that right now. It's actually tied with your points leader, Joshua Clements. I'm going to quickly go into the point standings as well. Technically, Clements is 3rd in the points right now, but after tonight, he will have the points lead unless he gets less than 33 points. If you know, you know. Dunlop Pride right now would bump himself up to 2nd in the point standings. Garson Muyoung sitting 3rd back there. Kyle Watts will work his way up into the top 5. Gino Bononi will work his way up into 6th after tonight. William Viola up into 7th. Stephen Gibson up into 8th. Dean Rodriguez up into 9th. And then after today, Jovan Anderson should find themselves in the top 10 in points as well.
Yep.
I should consider muting Alex Man, but at the same time I need to know when cautions come out, so...
Fair enough. There's a few races I was just soloing. I was just like, you know what? At this point, I'm just gonna guess. And most of the time I did guess correctly, so... I just, whenever I see everyone start slowing down, it's like, yeah, made worth of it.
But Demlick right now still holding on to the top of the timing sheet here, as we are now down to the final 7 minutes of practice, getting those last few laps in before we go here into qualifying at Auto Club. That number 3 Toyota's had a pretty quiet season so far, not really much to note. He currently sits all the way down currently, and I don't even see him on this points board. All the way down currently, 37th in points. He's only scored 20 this season so far, so tonight could be a really good turnaround for that number 3 team. Last I was in the booth, at least, they had that mechanical problem at Pocono that sent them multiple laps down, effectively ended their day, so for the first time this season, potentially, that number 3 team looking on the up.
Yep. I don't think they've raced it all since Pocono, but hopefully tonight they will have a better result, for sure.
Jovan 2nd on the practice times right now after tonight. He should find himself in the top 10 in points. It's been a weird year for that 93 car. They've had moments where it looks like they could come out on top with the win, but I just don't think they've been able to get it done this season. And tonight, right now they're looking pretty good. Could they turn that around, you think?
You know, this track has a lot to it, and with the amount of skill it takes, Jovan's got that skill. I think it's just gonna... I think he does have that ability to do that tonight. It's just gonna come to a point of... And like you said, you think tonight could be a wreck fest? It could be, for sure, so gotta watch out for that.
They're either gonna get a wreck fest, or those tires are going to be crying, so... Could be one of those two options. Entering tonight's race, Jovan Anderson, of the 5 races that have already occurred, he's run 4 of them. 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s. He has an average start of 15.3, average finish of 13.3, with 1 DNF on those books. Currently, if the practice day indicator, he's going to be starting up here towards the front tonight, at least assuming that's not a draft lap that he said, at least. So that 93 car, I mean, they're right now projected to be 10th in points after tonight. That might be a little bit higher, depending on how they go. Joshua Clements, Diesel Motorsports car, will be your points leader after tonight, most likely, unless they have a really bad day. Their teammate, Kyle Watts, third in the standings right now in practice as we go. He currently sits 6th in the standings. Only 1 top 5, but 4 top 10s. In all but 1 race this season, he has finished inside that top 10 position with that average finish of 9.4 on the board. So one of the more consistent drivers out here right now. Right now, looking pretty quick. Could be in contention for his first win of the season tonight.
But yeah, Kyle, he almost won at Nashville. He had a pretty good car, but yeah, he didn't end up winning that one, unfortunately. But you know, his last one came at Charlotte. I imagine he's pretty hungry. He's been winning quite literally everywhere else, except IFAR. So I imagine this is like one place he would like to get.
It's his Achilles heel, if you will.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, quick update to the timing sheets. Someone's jumped themselves right up to 4th overall, and that is the number 68 of Joshua Myers in the Extends car. Shout out Kevin Conway. Shout out Kevin Conway Saturday.
Ah,
Yeah, they've worked themselves up to 4th in practice with a 38.881. Only 3 minutes left in practice, so if anyone's trying to put down a competitive lap time on the board before qualifying, time is running out to do so. There's currently a bit of a mess entering pit road, so it might be easier said than done for some others. Back to my previous script before I got off railed by that. Kirsten Bell rounds out your top 5 currently in practice. I don't even know where they are on the point standings. I'm gonna be real. Oh, there they are. They're 26th. 41 points only scored so far this season with only 2 starts. Average start of 16 points of 16 flat. Average finish of 13.5. Definitely also another team looking on the up. So right now, I don't know if it's just because this is a high-speed track. Draft might be a little bit more in play, especially on the straights. A lot of more struggling teams are currently up towards the top right now. You have the 3 team, the 93, the 44, the 68 team. Out of the top 10, the only ones I really notice here that you regularly see up at the front are probably the 21, 24, and 74 right now. Everyone else, they might have an opportunity to make some big moves tonight.
yep.
Trouble for Jelani out of 2. They've taken a bit of a slide. And as I say that, there's a far worse incident in turn 4. Kyle Watts has officially been deceased. We have also unpersoned Kyle Watts after tonight.
Well, there goes his reign of dominant. I can't even say dominance. I almost said dominoes.
That would be Jelani.
Dang.
Except,
Bootleg dominoes.
yeah, bootleg dominoes. Just domino.
Yep. Oh, they already going to. Oh, they're going to Q. Shoot.
Alright, qualifying time. So we got about 4 minutes to kill then before we find out who's going to be starting where tonight. So, what to expect in tonight's race. Today's race at Auto Club, 60 laps. The pit road speed for these drivers is 55 miles an hour. Best track to compare this to, really. I don't think we've had a track even close to this. I guess the best you can bet on is Pocono in terms of length and speed, at least. So keep an eye out for Gina Bononi and Joshua Clemens tonight. Dunlop Prod also got a top 5 there as well. So those are going to be 3 drivers that you might want to look out for tonight. Apart from that, this is one of those tracks this season. We really haven't really been to anything similar to it yet. Again, the closest we have to compare is Pocono, and that still drives a lot differently. So we'll have to see how these drivers can adjust. That's the one thing I like about this IFAR schedule. There's a lot of tracks that just really stand out. You don't have a bunch of mile and a halves in here that all match up to each other. It's all pretty varied as you go on. Towards the end of the season, it gets a little bit more short track heavy with tracks like Martinsville and I think in Richmond kind of piled up in there. But for the most part, it's pretty much pretty goodly diverse. There's not really anything else I can compare to that they've already ran this season in Auto Club wise. So we'll have to see how that goes. First set of time is going to come in. Still 2 minutes left in qualifying, so this is still subject to change. But currently on provisional pole, Kyle Watts with a 38.737. It is actually right now a Diesel Motorsports front row. Joshua Clements right now with a 38.842 in second. The 36 car cap is in place for tonight. I don't think we're going to be worrying about hitting that. Only. Okay, so what happened was, why do I only have 2 cars on the practice board? That's not right. I think Alex might have accidentally broke something. That's great. So down to the last 2 minutes in qualifying. A few cars just set times toward the middle. Nothing really of note. So they're right now coming around, making their last lap back, seeing if they can improve a little bit on there. On the prod up to third with like 38.879. 1 minute to go in qualifying. Warning yellow swing happening up in race control. Alex just fell asleep. So
Oh, nice.
I think Zach has that mute on his end, so you didn't hear that, but he just fell asleep.
Well.
Down to the last 30 seconds. I don't think we're getting any more new times in there.
I think Alex was channeling his inner Jonathan Salos.
Apparently, he's been up since Friday, so.
Oh my gosh, some sleep.
He did a 6 to 3, stayed up all night, did another 6 to 3 today, and now we're here.
Oh, dang, that's oof. All right, got Brandon Beal in the chat saying he's rooting for Garson Muyung.
Can you just shut up, man?
All right, I forgot Truxel. I need to mute Truxel.
All right, so that is qualifying is going to be a Diesel Motorsports front row. Kyle Watts, your pole sitter tonight. Joshua Clements in second place. Dunn Laprade gets P number 3. Joshua Loazen in P4. He's going to be leading the SCR fleet. Row number 3, Daniel Rivera alongside Gino Bononi with row number 4, Garson Muyung and Joe Van Anderson. Row number 5, Cole Rodriguez and Victor Delgado III rounding out that top 10. Paula Aziz will start in row 6, P11 alongside Kirsten Bell. After that, you have William Viola and Daniel Rodriguez. Delaney Howell will start 15th. Blaine Davis is going to be starting in the row behind him in 17th. Landon Lyle, P18. Cameron Jameson in P19. The cars that did not qualify, but will still be in the race because we only have 26 starters, is Cameron Jameson, Nicholas Bedimlik, Cole Mather, Thomas Troxel, Trey Kinsley, and Joshua Moyers. They will be starting at the end of the longest line.
Oh. And we got a few minutes of happy hour for everyone to, I'm assuming, either going to figure out their pit stops or figure out why they're not going to figure out their pit stops.
Yeah, pit road here is there's a pretty wide space at the bottom to get into the pit road with. The problem is that car naturally tapers up towards the outside wall on corner exit, so getting that potential right, it's deceptively challenging. It looks really easy. You got plenty of room to get down in there, but if you're not careful, you can easily end up in that infield grass, so you just got to make sure you get on the brakes at the right time.
Yep. But yeah, got a new sound pack here tonight. I mean, you also might have seen it last night in Gnarl. Colton Kalovich updated the Petty's V8. Got some new sounds going, so that's baller.
What the hell paint scheme is Blaine Davis running? That is unironically the worst hood I have ever seen. That car needs to be deleted. I'm gonna be real.
Oh, that's a... Oh.
It's a choice. I don't know if I like it, but it's a choice. Alrighty, so we are 2 minutes till we go green, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a Diesel Motorsports front row. I'm really questioning the three's choice to start here towards the back. He set yet again the fastest lap in happy hour now. So he was fast in practice, fastest in happy hour, but he did not set a qualifying time. I don't know what the play call is there with that 3 team, but we'll have to see if it's the right call to make for them. Maybe they'll feel more comfortable in traffic with that car, but time only will tell.
Could have made a mistake, spun out. Could be a range of things.
Yeah, it could be. We'll have to find out. Speaking of which, he is now a part of a big one over in 4.
Oof.
Alright, so as we get ready to go racing here, they're going to start gridding up. One quick thing to note, IFAR does use a choose cone. I don't believe they remembered to install it for this track, so they are going to be running off of the start-finish line. So anytime we refer to the choose cone, just know that we're referring to that blue stripe that also marks the start-finish on the front straightaway. So as the field now begins to grid up, assuming we won't have any restarts due to lap 1 carnage, we're getting ready to go racing.
60 laps here tonight. You got 25 on a tank. Like you said, depending on yellows and crashes, you can decide how this thing is going to go.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one indeed for a lot of these guys. But it should be a fun one for us. It's an all Toyota front row and an all Diesel Motorsports front row at that. And it's an all Chevy row number 2. So that's not really surprising, actually, when I think about it. Those are the only 2 cars people ever run. Like, Ford is basically deceased in any other league. And pace car is rolling as we are getting ready to get going here. As we roll out of turn number 4, pace car, and he's checking out. There it goes. Gruns makes its way down into the pit lane. Kyle Watts on pole for today. Race number 6 of the Season 14 IFAR Championship is underway, and we are green at Auto Club. Pretty solid start, even on both lanes here into turn number 1. And it looks like it'll be Kyle Watts that'll take that advantage and take the lead. He is clear up top, and his teammate is clear as well. So the Diesel Motorsports cars have successfully gotten themselves in line, although maybe not for long. Joshua Lazen already on the attack. He wants to try and make a shot at it. He's going to get to the inside of Joshua Clements here, side by side through turns number 3 and 4. You think he's got that 92, but keep in mind, if you're up on that against that wall, you're going to get that better run on exit. Not going to be the case this time. Joshua Lazen up in a second, but it is Kyle Watts leads that first lap away, and this race is official. Don't need to worry about any resets. Back down into turn number 1 we go. Now Clements back on that offensive, takes second place back away from that Scuderia Carmona Chevrolet. Back to a Diesel Motorsports 1-2 yet again. So already some interesting fighting up here happening at the front, but it's Kyle Watts still leading that charge. As you can see, with how many grooves you have to work at this track, they spread out wildly through these wide corners, get sometimes 3, maybe even a little bit 4 wide before compressing back down once they come out of the corner. Could really work to your advantage depending on how well you work that line, if you have any help getting a push in, or if your opponent makes a mistake. So the 54 right there had a little bit of a wobble. That's going to hurt him a little bit here. Gets right back behind the 92 to try and keep that momentum going. And it's actually Joshua Clements who takes the lead away. And I think the 54 of Lazen gets to the inside of Watts. Yes, he does. And Rivera's going to try and follow him through. So your pole sitter could be falling all the way down outside the top 3 by the end of this lap. He's going to try and keep that outside line, working that momentum here, getting that run on that outside line. And he holds on to 3rd, at least for now. Now moves to the inside of Lazen. So yeah, that inside line, it may be the shorter and faster way around, but those runs they get on exit up at the top can really work out down that back straightaway. So you can't really just rely on that bottom side working every single time. That run on the top will come and get you, and if you aren't ready for that, they will blow right by you. Because right there, the 54 that ran that top line that time gets right back around the 21, works his way back into 2nd.
Oh, and wreck the 21! Hard in the wall!
And more cars involved there as well. Slide by Jelani Howell. Another slide by Tala Aziz. Looks like Kirsten was involved. The 41 involved. But it is your pole sitter here on lap number 4. Heavy damage to the back of that Toyota Camry. And what looked to be a really solid day, maybe his first win of the season, is now gone. And we are not even 5 laps in yet.
Dang. I think he had some help.
Yeah, definitely did. There's the heavy damage to the back of that car. I believe he also has a flat as well. There was further contact after the fact between Tala Aziz and Jawani Howell. Both of them kept it straight. I don't believe any damage to either of those cars. So let's quickly take a look back and see what happened. I believe the 41 got a good piece of it as well. No, he did not. He was already more than 10 seconds back. So what happened here? Yeah, Watts here gets hit. Gets actually tapped by Rivera entering 3. That sends him up into that outside wall. Great save by Tala Aziz there, managing to hold on to it straight. And Kirsten gets a good smack of it as well. But we are going to have action down on pit road. So with one of the two Diesel Motorsport cars potentially already out of this race, we do not quite know what the Watson status is at this current moment. Your new race leader, the other Diesel Motorsports car of Clements, we'll have to see what he can do from here on. Him and that 54 definitely are probably two of the more aggressive cars at the front of this pack. But pit stops this early. Do you just want to fill up to get down later, or do you do a full service?
I'm thinking full service if it's me. You don't want to be that one guy that stays out with no tires or 2 tires. And granted, it'd be the thing if the whole field was doing it, but I don't think the whole field is thinking short term or long. I don't think the whole field is thinking track position right now. I think they're thinking about getting as much out of the car as they can, and especially making sure they have the freshest tires they can for this next run.
And keeping up with that aggression, it is Luazen that gets the race off of pit road ahead of Joshua Clements. So that number 50 or 54 Scuderia Cremona Racing Chevrolet puts themselves out in the front here at Auto Club Speedway.
Yep. 2 Joshuas, a Joven, and a Dunn.
If we actually had a budget now, would be a really good time to make a commercial just for the fun of it.
I was thinking that exact same thing too.
You get one of those like stream decks where you just press a button and it just plays a bunch of like MP4s that you can have as commercials or whatnot, and then when you press the button again, it cuts back to the race.
Shoot, I could do that here off OBS Blade if I wanted to. But YouTube's got enough ads as is.
That's why you do the funny stuff, like Big Bill Hells, a thing that's people enjoy, not the same Liberty advertisement over and over again, you know?
Ooh, I see. We could do that.
There's a McDonald's in the Panagot. But that was only like a minute long. You probably could do that one anyway. So I believe that they are going to choose this time by. Again, they didn't include. They forgot to install a choose cone here, so they're going to be choosing here on the start-finish line. So we'll have to see what lane each of these drivers are going to want to take. And it is all the way to the outside and all the way to the inside for the top 2. So it'll be 54 up top and 92 on the bottom. Actually, a lot of cars favoring that outside line currently, especially towards the back. Not a lot of takers for that inside line. No retirements just yet. The 21 and 44, they have kept it going. They will continue as is, despite the 21 missing the entire back of that car. So we'll have to see how badly that damage is going to affect him.
Yeah, he's definitely has a big disadvantage. When you have no back end like that, the car doesn't have as much stability, and that's going to be a big challenge for him.
Alright, so we've got ourselves doubled up. We're going to be going green flag this time by. And I remember earlier during practice, I mentioned one of the cars to look for was Jovan Anderson. He's found himself here in 3rd early on.
Yeah, I do like the idea about doing custom ads. We could, there's some fictional sponsors out here. Maybe see a Benoni National Crime Syndicate ad, something like that, maybe.
Nah, you just gotta make it stupid as possible, alright?
I see you. Oh, we'll experiment with it.
Alright, so out of turn number 4, we're going to be going green this time by. That 54 on the top is the control car, so we'll have to see when he gets going. That could be any minute now, and there he goes. We are back under green, and already a big wobble there further back. That is Daniel Rivera. Not a good restart for that number 15, and that effect's already there. They're 3 wide behind him as part of that stack up. So that's 3 wide into turn number 1. Jelani Howell all the way down there on the bottom line, but they managed to keep a good start there on the bottom. A little bit of a warp there by Garson Muyung in number 70, but no problems there. Down the back straightaway we go. Back towards the front, Loaizen still in the lead, but Joshua Clements all over their back bumper here. Into turn number 3 they go, and both of them take that inside. That's going to leave Dunlap to try and make that run work on that outside line there. I think he's going to get around Jovan Anderson in the 93 there. But we not going to get that move done. They're still side by side. Down the back straightaway they go. But he's got that run with the draft of the 92. That works himself into 3rd place we go. Joshua Clements down there on the one. In the trouble, that's a 54 in the wall. Can he get a run again? He holds it on. Puts himself right in the middle of traffic there. Garson Muyung had to take some avoiding action. And the 54 is going to fall all the way outside the top 10. Not a good restart there for that 54 team. And that puts the lead right back in Joshua Clements' arms as we come out of turn number 4. That could have easily been a potentially big accident there, but Garson was able to find a gap there to avoid it.
Yep.
So we stay green, and while you think the car that you've been fighting for these first 10 laps is now not even in the top 10, will help Joshua Clements a little bit. Not exactly. Now we've replaced Loaizen with Dunlap and Jovan Anderson, so that pressure still exists, and it's not going to get any easier, I imagine, until these tires start to wear out. Even then, that's a different kind of pressure that you'll have to worry about later on. But I think that 92 Performance has found a pretty good middle ground of that bottom line. I think that's an area that he feels the most comfortable in right now. It is doing its job. He's arcing those corners, entering high, turning back in low, and as long as he's clear on the bottom, not really having to worry about that run on the top if he gets back up there in time, which he does this time around. Another wobble out of Daniel Rivera there further back. That 15 really not stable right now. Gotta wonder if that's a problem on his end or potentially a problem with the car. I know he was involved in that collision earlier that sent Kyle Watts around, but I didn't think he got any substantial damage from that. I think when he was the one that was tapped Watts around in the first place. So I'm not quite sure what's happening to that 15 Toyota as we speak. But it is still Clements out here at the front, side by side for second between Dunlap and Jovan Anderson. And Jovan all the way to the bottom. Did he get to that inside of that 92? I think he did. Out of turn number 2 we go. And I think Clements is now back out in front. Not quite, but that bump from the 74 gets him clear.
Yeah, 92 running a little lane higher that way. Can still get. Oh, they made a bobble there. Never mind.
And another mistake now. Barely keeps it out of the wall, but that's going to cost him several positions there. Managing to hang on to it there, that 92 car did. But that puts Jovan Anderson into the lead here for the first time today, that 93 car. Daniel Rivera up to second, Dunlap third. And look who's already found their way back in fourth. That's Joshua Loaizen. Just like literally 3 laps ago, they were up against that outside wall, dropped outside the top 10. Well, they're now already back in the top 5, so that 54 car definitely has a lot of speed underneath it. They just need to keep it clean to the best of their abilities. They might walk out of here in victory lane by the end of tonight. But we're only on we're coming to lap 14 right now. Still a long way to go. You gotta ask yourself, are they being too aggressive right now? Is this how this track is working? When those tires start falling off, how is that going to play into things? There's a big stack up there with Jelani Howell and William Viola. They keep it all steady, though, and that 92 continuing to drop like a rock. And contact down the back straightaway. That's Jelani Howell around. Got tagged by the 27. No caution. We keep it going, but into the outside wall, I think. Oh, not inside wall, I mean. Or did Jelani hang on to it? Nope, that definitely smacked that inside wall, so Tough luck for that 19 car. No caution, however. We still keep going. There was that stack up before in the 1 with the 1927. I wonder if the 27 of William Bielo was repaying a favor there, or if that was just a racing incident. Meanwhile, at the front, Rivera to the lead, but Joven on that inside. Luazen trying to make a run on the outside line work. Rivera's going to block that, and actually, Anderson might now fall down to third as that 54, effectively bump drafting that 15 down the back straightaway, and he's still going to stay committed to that top side. That top line is really working for that 54 car right now. I don't think he has any plans of leaving it anytime soon, but he just can't quite get himself clear of that 93. That 93 is able to hold his own on the bottom here, but as we come into turn 1, I think he's clear this time, and he actually might be going to the inside. Yes, he will. He wants that lead away. He wants that lead out of the 15 hands and into his own. And is he going to get it here out of turn number 2? Not quite. The 15 stays up there on the top, and here comes a big run by the 74. Gives the 15 a push, allows him to clear himself of the 54. And Rivera back into the lead for now. But now Luazen still down there on that bottom line, trying to get that shorter way around. And they're going to be side by side coming out of turn number 4 here for the lead. A little bit of contact there. It's going to be Rivera that leads that lap only by an inch, really. 0.03 was the gap that time around. And I think this time here on the bottom, Luazen's going to get the job done. Into the lead, maybe not. Here comes the 15 again with another run on that outside line. Still side by side.
Caution.
And we have a caution towards the back. That is Thomas Troxel. William Viola is also involved there, so a 2-car incident on the back straightaway, and we are now under caution.
Oh, 67 got in the 91, then the 27 got in the back of the 67, and that was weird. Troxel really nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's unlucky for Thomas Troxel, but it is another incident with William Viola that brought out this caution. He had that contact earlier with Jelani Howell. This started all the way back in turn number 1 when that 67 got hit. That slid him up into Viola, and while they were trying his best to keep it straight, just really couldn't, and spins directly into the path of Thomas Troxel. Both of them, for the most part, kept out of the wall. The 27 was pretty much riding that outside wall for the entire duration of turn number 2. For Troxel, apart from the contact, no other hits. So we'll have to hope that didn't do much damage to that 10 car.
Yeah, Daniel Rivera leads us here under yellow.
Yeah, it's weird. The two pole sitter, the 2 cars from the front row, the 92 and 21, have both fallen down with issues, and we are only on lap number 18. We still have a long, long way to go.
I imagine no-brainer here. Go to pits, score fresh Goodyears, and see what happens.
Yeah, this race went green from flag to flag. It would have only been a 2-stop race, but already on coming to lap number 20, and we are already having our second stop of the day. But under cautions like this is what shakes up those pit strategies. Obviously, a lot of these drivers are probably going to want themselves those fresh tires, and well, that was no time better.
Watson's just still.
And yeah, the day just keeps getting worse for that 21 car. It is going to be a long night for them. And we'll see who wins this race off of pit road. It is going to be Daniel Rivera who gets that stop off first. So very close for second there between LaPrade and Luazen. I want to say Luazen got it, but not fully sure on that. Yeah, looks like Thomas Troxel. Pit road violation for the 10 car. That's going to drop them to the end of the longest line here. under this caution period. So that's another hit for that 10 team. So if you're wondering why I'm so quiet right now, I'm currently listening to Alexander Gonzalez-Greene absolutely tearing Rivera a new ass.
Dang.
All he did was ask what the pace speed was, and he started a solid minute-long ramble there. But time to choose as they're coming to the start-finish line, so they're going to pick which lane they're going to want to restart in, and it is Rivera all the way to the bottom, the Wazen all the way to the top. And just like last time, very popular that top line is. Top line continues to be the favorite among drivers right now, but still a few takers down there on that inside. You got Gino Bononi, you got Jovan Anderson, Joshua Clements. Someone we haven't talked about at all today, Daniel Rodriguez, will find themselves in the top 10 after going on down there. Myers in the 68 made a very late move to that bottom line. I'm not sure if that will be the case after they do their post-race review. They and what IFAR does is after the race they'll check every choose cone segment to make sure no one hit the cone or did anything illegal there. I think the 68 was definitely cutting it close that time. We'll have to see on that. And Alex is still going. Alright, so going green this time by. Daniel Rivera is your race leader. He's that red Toyota on the bottom there. And he's going to hit the gas, and we are back under green as we take 40 laps to go here at Auto Club. And a great run there on the top line with the help of Dunlop Prod. That 54 might even have that lead by the end of the corner. Not quite. In fact, he actually washes up a little bit. Does he keep out the wall? Nope, he's in the wall yet again. And around he goes. Does he save it?
Does, but teammates almost got into him. Big costly there.
Great save by that 54. It's going to cost him a lot of track position, but he manages to hang on to that. Dunlop Prod is your new leader, meanwhile. I have no idea where Daniel Rivera went in that whole chaos. They are somehow now down to 5th. So, cool. And it'll be LaPrade leading their first laps on the day. After that, it's a pair of Fords, Garson Young and Gino Bononi, 2nd and 3rd. But here comes Jovan Anderson on the inside, trying to make some moves work. You got Daniel Rivera rounding out that top 5, meanwhile, side by side with Daniel Rodriguez. Oh, Anderson did get that move second done, but Bononi came back at him with that run on the outside. Actually, that is for 3rd, my bad. It's still Dunlop Prad out front and no contest there. Ooh, not quite clear that 93 was going to back out last minute, or else he would have hit Garson Muyang. Would have hit Garson Muyang, and just to back out last second. But that 74 still out front. Meanwhile, back down to the inside goes that number 93, trying to get that bottom line to work. But you just can't quite get that move clear when those cars on the outside get that run. You see down the backstretch right now, he is just sitting duck as the 24 comes flying by in that M&M's Ford right there in the number 24. And how the hell is he back in the top 5? Kyle Watts, despite having no ass on that car, is now back in 5th place and still making moves right now side by side with Daniel Rivera. He gets clear up in securing said 5th place position. How is he still up here?
I don't know. That is
How
insane.
did he pull this off? That car is literally half missing, and yet he is somehow still finding good positions.
Oh my
he
gosh!
intersected into the wall! Big wreck here on the back straightaway. I spoke way too soon.
Commentator's curse for you, and he's gonna
Commentator's
lick that
curse,
wall again.
And the other side of the car gets hit.
And big rough there. A lot of tires
I was
down.
trying to talk about how he was starting to turn his day around, despite the back of that car completely destroyed, getting in the top 5. Got into the wall out of 2, made contact with Rivera, who was also involved in that. They're down a tire.
D-Dog was just a sitting duck.
Nothing that a lot of cars could have done. That one that happened right in front of a large chunk of the field. And so out of turn number 2, the 15 slid up. The 21 was already in the wall at that point, but slid up into the 21. Nothing he could have done. Nowhere for Rivera to go and all that. Not Rivera. Nowhere for Rodriguez to go and all that. Somehow, the 91 of Cole Rodriguez, meanwhile, barely gets through that. He had to cut it close there, cutting in between the spinning cars of the 20 and 15 in that mess, but he manages to get around it and take avoiding action, but it's mainly the 21 and 15 and the 20 just an innocent bystander. So caution number 3 on the day. And weirdly enough, our first retirement is a car that has not been involved in any incident, Jelani Howell. And at that same token, the number 47 is also out of the race. Again, was also not involved in any incident. So the first 2 cars to lose have just retired for whatever other reason.
Dang. Maybe they just felt like it.
They just said on that they had enough. They're done. They don't want to do this no more.
Yep.
Alright, for the 3rd time today, every single car on the field decides to go down pit road. We'll have to. So we've seen this pit cycle here definitely shake things up today. We've seen cars come and go. One of those constants has been Dunlaprod and Joshua Clements. Meanwhile, those two have basically been up there this entire night, although with some difficulties. Those Fords of Benoni and Garson, they're one of the ones that have just recently cycled back up there. We'll have to see if they can hang on to that. As out of pit road they come, Dunlaprod will win the race off pit road, Jovan Anderson 2nd, Gino Benoni 3rd. So we're nearing the halfway point of what has been a very chaotic race, to say the least. Anything in terms of who you think has done the best job so far, and who you might consider in victory lane by the end of tonight?
What do you want at the back?
Well, I was gonna say the 15 was looking pretty good until they weren't. I was gonna say the 21 was looking pretty good until they weren't. And right now, I don't know if I don't want to jinx nobody, but the 93 has really been the guy I'm thinking will probably be up here at the end fighting for this win.
You stole my pick, goddamn you.
We can have the same pick.
No, that's not as fun.
Well, this isn't Fox. This is not Fox.
They do the same thing on NBC.
Ah, crap.
The one thing I mentioned earlier, before we went green, is I was puzzled by the number 3's decision to not qualify, despite being the fastest car in both practice and happy hour. Well, after the first half of this race being the way it is, they found themselves into 7th position, so Nicholas Bedimlik has slowly been working his way through the field today. Got himself into the top 10, so we'll have to see if he can translate that speed they had earlier today here into the second half of the race. We're nearing halfway. Just a few laps out from that.
Well, at this rate, they're going to have to pit at least one more time if this does go green to the end, but from what I've seen, I don't know if that's going to be the case.
41 at the end of the pacing line. They for a pit road violation. They've already choose. Okay, I missed that. Done the prod on the top, Jovan Anderson on the bottom. Well, that 93 was really trying everything he could there on that bottom line. Couldn't really compete against the 2 Fords of Garson and Benoni. Bononi's still there, but now you have Dunlop up there as well.
And a thing that Dunn had an advantage with recent events, he is now teammates with Joshua Lizaswain, and now Lizaswain is hit the wall twice now, has fallen back. He's kind of, I wouldn't say a sitting duck, but in terms of he doesn't have that teammate up there anymore. It's kind of, I guess, an open game, I guess you could say, but we'll see what happens.
Let's see, a bit of a stack up further back in that pacing line. I think they've gotten themselves all forwarded out. Right. So out of turn number 4, the 74 Dunlop, that purple car up at the top is your leader, which means he has control here on the restart. Yet again, that top line most preferred among drivers right now. Kirsten has gone out of line towards the back before being on the green, as we're green now, and a great start from Dunlop. Fires away from the field. I don't know if that was a good start on his part, or Jovan Anderson got a bad one, as he's already checking up 3 wide right behind him. That's the 51 of
Steven Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson there on the bottom. Try to make that inside move work. That did not work out for him. He's gonna start falling back like a rock. We appreciate the effort. Ignore me losing track of where everyone was there for a second. Bononi up to still in second right now, but Anderson still trying to make that bottom line work. Out of turn number 4 we go. Does he get clear? Not quite, but he's going to stay committed to that bottom line. 3 wide a little further back as Badimlik splits the middle between Gibson and Luazen. Gets that move done. That's 2 positions for that number 3 car. Anderson still trying to make that bottom line work, but that run that Bononi gets on that outside on corner exit, he just can't quite compete against that, and Bononi's completely cleared the 93 now, so now he's making the move to the inside, a charging number 24 right now, and but will he clear that 74? Oh, he's got him by a mile and a half. Gino Bononi, your new leader, in a charging fashion.
I think I know what he did there.
In second. Clements all the way down on that bottom line right now. I think I know which line he's going to take, and it's going to be said bottom line. Yep, there he goes. Jovan Anderson actually is taking himself into the middle line here. We might actually see a little bit of 3-wide action, because here comes Garson Muyang on the top. Ooh, Jovan had to back out last minute there to avoid some contact, and that's caused the 92 to check up as well. Both of them are going to lose a position to that number 68 of Joshua Moyers. It's mostly it's either all the way up against the wall or all the way down the apron for these guys. That middle line really hasn't been able to work because of how unstable the car gets there on corner exit. But Gino Bononi still out front as we are now officially halfway here at Auto Club.
Yep. I was going to say that he made that power move to the lead. He was trying to strategize that draft up. He got that huge run on the back straight, used that run, took it down on the bottom of 3 and 4, and got that lead off of 4. And put him in that good spot.
And he's trying his best to pull away right now. Not quite easy to do at a track like this. Dunlop right behind him. Garson Muyang on his bumper, meanwhile. Joshua Luazen, welcome back to the front of the field, my friend. Will he stay here? I don't know. He's been a very come-and-go driver today. He's been up here at the front, fallen towards the back, worked his way back to the front, fallen back again. And the cycle is now beginning to repeat itself now. One of the only cars on the bottom, one thing that has definitely been interesting in this race, more and more cars have started just running that top line as this race has gone. We've seen less and less cars trying to make that move work on the bottom. The top line has definitely presented itself as the dominant line here at Auto Club tonight. You still got a few guys like Luazen right now down there trying to see if he can make a couple of moves, but can't quite do it. It's weird how much of a plate race this is, even though you have to let off and it's something like a plate race.
Yep. That's the uniqueness of this track. Unfortunately, they had to tear it down for an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah, for an Amazon warehouse, bro. What the fuck? 3 wide, meanwhile, for 8th between Clements, Kinsley, and Gibson. Might even be 4 wide if Gibson can get a good enough run on Lyle here. And contact into the wall goes Lyle. Can Kinsley save it? He does, but the car that does not is the 27 of William Viola. Into the inside wall he goes. Cameron Jameson goes around. Victor Delgado is involved. Landon Lyle, heavy damage to the side of that car. Trey Kinsley was unable to save it. He goes around. A heavy incident there on the back straightaway. Several cars involved.
Goodness, that was a big
that's
one.
the second time I've jinxed someone in this broadcast.
Yeah.
I was talking about if you can get to the inside of Lyle there, you make it 4 wide, but right as he did, carnage unfolded, so maybe it wasn't for the best.
Talking about how unstable that... Oh, actually, no, he
Flat
dang.
tires on both the 81 and 27. The 27's going to try and limp it all the way around to avoid the penalty. The 81 of Lyle, meanwhile, is in the retaining wall on the front of the pit wall.
Assume that's a self-retiree there.
We have an attenuator hit, ladies and gentlemen. We're not even in Indianapolis, and we have an attenuator hit. Let's take a look back and see what happened here. 3 wide in turn number 2. 67 Kinsley trying to go to the bottom, clips the side of Joshua Clemens, slides him up into the 81, sends them both into the wall. Looks like they were both going to save originally. The 27 of Viola was already gone around, but then the 67 slides back up into the outside wall again, unable to save it from there. Nothing Cameron Jameson could have done. Victor Delgado slams on the back of him, and that creates a 5-car incident down the back straightaway.
Another close call for Cole Rodriguez.
It's been a lot of close calls with him today. That's his second one of the afternoon. Every incident so far, like half the incidents so far today, have been directly in front of him, and he's had to take some insane avoiding action. But he has kept that car clean, and he continues to do so as he comes into pit road now. Probably going to be a 4-tire stop like everyone else. So we're coming down now. 26 laps to go. These pit stops. If we stay green from here, you might be able to make it to the end under green, but it's going to be a close one. Dunn LaPrade wins the race off pit road. Gino Bononi P2. Garson Young P3. So LaPrade and the duo of Fords hold up here at the front because they're. And so a lot of pit penalties on this most recent time around. The 81 and 21, and not 21. The 81 and 12 are at the back due to pitting early before pit road is open, and 41 and 51 are at the back due to pit road violations regarding pit road speed. So, yeah, a lot of penalties dish out there on that most recent pit cycle.
And I was looking back at that 81's attenuator roll hit. It looked like that tire being, or actually, you did say it was a tire being down, right? You think was a cause for that? Okay, yeah, just making sure. Because I was thinking it was intentional because I wasn't looking at it. Oh well.
Oh, that tire was just down.
Yeah, big unlucky there.
Alright, to the choose cone we go. And yet again, Dunn LaPrade on that outside line. He's definitely comfortable with that top side. I think most of the field, as a matter of fact, is. And I can already tell someone violated that choose cone thing, that being Blaine Davis. I think Alex won't be able to catch that till after when he does his post-race reviews, however. So, yeah.
I think 15 slammed the door on the 14 there in the choose cone. That was a little questionable there, but oh well.
So if we stay green to the end, they might, if they fuel save enough, they might have enough to make it to the very end. There's the concern about tires. I don't think we'll make it to the end all under green, but you never know. You think they'll be able to save it all the way here? Because the fuel tank is exactly 25 laps, and we are going to restart with 24 to go.
Well, it's a risk. You could risk. I mean, if you can do it and it stays green, it's smart, but it's a risk because I don't think you can stay up front and save. You'd have to give up that track position if you're going for the saving game, and if a caution comes out, your strategy's ruined. So.
Yeah, if another caution comes out like all the others, everyone's coming in because that'll be enough fuel to the end comfortably. So a lot to think about. If we stay green to the end, these drivers are going to have a lot to worry about here fuel wise. Back under green we go. Great start from both cars at the front row, but I think Dun Prod, being the control car, is going to have that edge. And a big run here from Garson. Nowhere to go with it, though. He has to stay behind that number 74. Down the back straightaway now. Not even clear of the 24. It's still there on the bottom. Big run. Yeah, Garson probably played that restart to the best of his ability to get that run out of 2, but there's nothing he could have really done to work with it. He'll have to stay on that top line for now. Almost 3 wide there for a minute.
Oh.
And Clements into the wall. They made contact with Badimlik.
Oh, Badimlik!
And I think they keep it good, and yes, they do. We say green, but it is 3 wide into turn number 1.
Goodness.
Yeah, the objective is to keep it clean, based on what Alex was talking about in that most recent caution. We almost had not that.
Yep. Yeah,
Down
I think
the back straight away we go. Dun the Prod still in the lead. Garson Muyoung back side by side with Benoni, but Benoni really making that use of that bottom line there. He pulls way out ahead, out of 3, and this time gets the job done. He did the same thing last lap, wasn't able to clear the 74. Gets it right the second time around. So Gino Benoni back out front here at Auto Club.
Once again, timing that run.
Just much like the last restart, that top line becoming the favorite line. You still have a few cars that down there using it, like Trey Kinsley, Tala Aziz, Daniel Rivera, Kyle Watts. But apart from that, not really a lot of people are willing to use it. You see Jovan Anderson, one of those few cars that are on the bottom there up at the front, and he lost about 2 or 3 positions trying to make that line on the bottom side work. That top lane, way too dominant on corner exit for him to do anything, especially on his lonesome right now. And look at this, Dun the Prod to be able to squeeze 3 wide out of Anderson there and go to the inside here to take the lead. Is Garson going to go 3 wide bottom here as well? Yes, he does. 3 wide for the lead at Auto Club. Garson on the bottom, Benoni on the top, Dun the Prod stuck in the middle. And Benoni clears LaPlade, not able to clear Muyoung, but gets the run on the back straight to clear that 70 car. Benoni back out front, but is Muyoung going to fight back on that inside line? Doesn't get that good launch like Benoni did. Car in the wall. Meanwhile, that is the 68 of not Steven Gibson. That is Joshua Myers. No contact with anyone else though. We keep it green. 20 more laps to go, and 3 wide again with Luazen, Anderson, and LaPrade. And Garson's already going to be clear of that 54. That inside line that had that 54.93 dropping like a rock. Just cannot compete with how much of a run those guys on that top side get. This is a very top-dominant track right now, and it's becoming more and more clear that those guys that try to make that bottom line work just can't quite make it work. You have to really send it in there like Benoni did a few laps ago in order to make it work. If you don't get that send there on the bottom, at the start of the corner, you're not going to have the momentum you need on the exit of the corner to clear that guy before he comes up on the top. And that's clear right now with cars like Anderson and Luazen starting to fall back a little bit.
Yeah, we've seen these guys manage those runs and then get those big sends, or not big sends, but big runs into the corners and then able to get in the clear for the lead. Gino's done it twice, and I think he'll be one to watch here for the end of this race for sure.
And here comes Luazen back to that inside, trying to get any positions he can. Might even actually have the 74 clear this time around. Actually, he might be all the way up to second. Was able to clear the 74. Wasn't able to clear the 70 in front of him, and there's nowhere for him to get in there. That might allow the 74 to get back side by side with him, as it does. So you see, yeah, if you're able to get that entry good enough, you're able to gain a position or 2 on exit. But if you don't get that good run in on the bottom of the corner, that outside line is going to completely leave you behind. Is there that time around? 34 gets the move done, up into the top 3 he goes.
Yep. That's going to open the door for Joven, maybe get around that 74 as well, as that 74 had to get the 54 a bump there.
Yeah, like I said, considering how close we are on that fuel line right now, you gotta wonder, is the 74 dropping back, trying to conserve any fuel that he... hoping that this race is the end. How many cars are taking that risk, assuming we get another caution? A lot on these drivers' minds right now. A little bit 3 wide further back for P12, Gibson, Kirsten, and Kinsley. Kinsley with that momentum on the outside. Kinsley. Kirsten with the momentum on the outside gets the move done.
Tala's around.
Oh, trouble.
Big, I don't even know what that was, but the 67 just drove the 14 into the wall. That was cheap.
No
and car round. 15. Saved it. No caution though.
So we stay green. It was without incident on the back row. It was between Trey Kinsley and Tala Aziz. Tala not happy. As yet again, that's the 54 of Loizen back into the wall.
Oh, this time in the...
number 2 gets hit by Mather. Round he goes. If no one else is involved, we will stay green.
Another close call for Kil Rodriguez.
And we stay green. No caution at this time. Some of these guys are really getting aggressive right now. These laps are counting down. And we are really... we're really seeing the effects of it right now. Hey, Daniel Rodriguez is up in the 5th now. Have we talked about him at all today? I don't even think so.
Under caution we have, but not yet under green.
Yeah, well, he's up here in the 4th now. Up in the 5th is Cole Rodriguez, and one of the times that we've had to talk about him is every time he's had to avoid an incident that's happened directly in front of him. So, yeah, a lot of flies starting to drop at the front, but those 2 Fords, Benoni and Muyang, have arguably been the 2 strongest cars today, and they still up here running 1 and 2. Anderson still has been fighting that bottom line, and it's still not working. He's fallen all the way down to 6th at this point.
So far, been a losing battle.
He's trying what he can, but I don't know if it's going to work it out.
Yeah, got to be a lot of tempers flaring. Oh, 91's in the wall.
No, just when I cursed him again. God damn it.
I think these guys, his tires are starting to get older, and these guys are trying to still run that same line, and you can't 100% run that line to fruition with tires that aren't as new as they were. A lot of guys starting to drop.
Yeah, the 54 in the pits, the 14 in the pits, both of them for damage repair. So not a good day for the in the SCR camp, at least. Right now, still Gina Benoni out front, 3/10 ahead of Garza Muyang, Don Leprod in 3rd, Daniel Rodriguez in 4th, Jovan Anderson in 5th. Him, Clements, and Gibson are in the 3 cars that have continuously kept working that bottom line as this run has gone on. And with how many cars are struggle on that top with cars hitting that outside wall, gotta start wondering, is that bottom line starting to look more interesting? It's definitely nowhere near the line you want to be running on the start of the restarts, but as these laps keep rounding down, they might be onto something here. Shorter way around, less fuel being used.
And more so, you gotta wonder which line saves more tires. I don't 100% know because I don't know the setup, but we're gonna probably find that out here
imagine
later.
That top line's probably the bet. Another single car on the front straightaway, this time William Viola. He's up against that inside wall on the front straightaway. We stay green. As it's given us an single car, we stay green, not have to worry about it.
That's the, I imagine a lot of guys aren't going to be too happy with the 67 after tonight.
Yeah, I already know Tala, and that number 14 definitely is not. And Viola has retired. A big wobble out of Garza Muyang in 2nd. 74 and 20 about to take avoiding action. We'll have to see how many positions that's going to cost that number 70 Ford. Leprod up in the 2nd place. Rodriguez on that inside trying to get that move done. Them side by side up there on the top might just be what Jovan needs to finally get that inside momentum working. But he's currently stuck fighting with Badimlik in that number 3. Rodriguez gets the move. He is now in the top 3. Cars are really starting to struggle in this run, and you still got to wonder, what's that fuel situation looking like right now? When they had that final pit stop under the last caution, it was about 28 laps to go.
Gibson!
Oh, and around goes Gibson. He saves it.
Nice save there from Steven Gibson. Unfortunately, it's going to cost him a ton of spots.
And there's another Trey Kinsley, Cole Rodriguez. Caution is out.
There it is. I'm
Blaine
just gonna
Davis involved as well with a last-minute hit.
just assume.
Landon Lyle gets a chunk of it as well. Right when I started to talk about that fuel situation is now been thrown out the window.
Yeah, 6-7 got in the wall. 91 just wasn't ready for it.
It's just gonna be a straight run to the finish at this point now.
Ooh.
You know, almost everyone's gonna come in 4 tires and fuel. So my question is, was it another Trey Kinsley incident? He has 3 other ones before this moment, and not really. He hit the wall out of 4, and Cole Rodriguez couldn't really avoid it at all. He just sends him back around as well. Landon Lyle goes into the grass, take avoiding action, ends up spinning under his own, and then Blaine Davis is the one that I'm most curious about. He goes on the brakes, but he also goes down into the grass where the other cars are sitting. I'm not quite sure what the call was there for the 41. He could have stayed up on the track and been fine, but he opted to go that route. So, definitely what's most likely going to be final pit stops of the day. I don't believe with this middle laps left to go, we're not going to have any more stops from here on out. Might even be our final restart. And Dunleprod not able to get the job done. He gave it his all there on that pit exit, but was not able to stay ahead of Gino Bononi. So Gino Bononi will restart your race leader.
Yeah, I know that last time they pitted, Gino got blocked out by Dunn, and he wanted to make sure that didn't happen again.
Yeah, he did not want to make sure that happened again. And he made sure of it, that's for sure.
Yep. Yeah, there's going to be some tempers flaring in the general chat after this one, I'm pretty sure.
13 to the back, 13 to the back.
So... Alright, so another round of pit road penalties. The 92, the 10, the 54, and 81 all end of the longest line. Definitely the worst time to give yourself a pit road penalty, considering when we go green, I think it's going to be about 6 or 7 laps to go.
Yeah, I don't think tire saving is in anybody's mind right now. It's going to be full-on aggression here from everybody. It's going to be interesting to see how that's executed, and if it is executed safely.
Yeah, that clock's running out. They're going to choose this time by, so I'd imagine that 24 Bononi's going to kick that outside line. It's been the best line on these short runs all day long. So we'll have to see who's going to be brave enough to take that bottom line.
Gonna be a gamble.
'81 to the back of the field.
74, interesting, stays up top. I would have expected him to go to the bottom. So that leaves the lead car on that inside line, Daniel Rodriguez. Again, it's been a pretty quiet day for that 20 until these last about 10 or so laps. He has not been talked about much at all today, and yet now he finds himself
dropped behind the
that
67
first car
since
on that
Valley
inside
Black flag,
line.
and he did not.
When we restart, it's going to be 6 laps to go.
I honestly don't like to call him going to the bottom.
7 laps to go, my bad.
I honestly don't hate to call him going to the bottom, because he did have... He wasn't like up front like these guys were, but now he's put himself in a better position up front. I don't know if it's going to be a gain overall, but if I'm in his shoes, I don't think it's a bad idea.
I think in terms of that bottom line, Bononi's been the one that's been able to get the work most today, but he's also been working the outside line a lot too. Bononi's been, in terms of the lines here, Bononi's been probably the most versatile, and he's going to be your control car on this restart. So 7 more laps to go when they take the flag here. If I remember, the point of no return was around 4 laps to go, so we might have one more caution in us. I doubt we will. Watch me say that, and then they wreck you right on the restart. But Bononi on the outside, Rodriguez on the inside. There he goes. We are back under green at Auto Club. 7 more laps to go, and that 24 Ford has already cleared that 20. A little bit further aggressive at the back. 4 wide entering turn number 1. These guys want to be aggressive, trying to get every position they can here. They know that clock is starting to tick. They're 3 wide exiting 2 further back. That's Kirsten Bell in the wall. But back out front, meanwhile, Benoni on the inside, Benoni on the outside, Rodriguez on the inside, side by side in turns 3 and 4. Can Benoni get that outside run to work? Not quite. Daniel Rodriguez is clear and in the lead, making contact down the front straightaway.
That was a big block there from D-Dog. Gets it run, though.
Yeah, but Benoni's still going to get to that inside. Jovan Anderson right behind him. Done the prod up on that top side. 3 wide in turn number 2. Anderson on the bottom. Rodriguez on the top. Benoni in the middle. He's got no help. That top line's run, though, you see it in effect there with LaPrade inching himself into second place now. Wasn't able to clear him. That's going to allow Benoni to make that push on that bottom. They're still 3 wide as we come out of turn number 4. All these guys are giving it everything they got here. Down the front straight we go. Still 3 wide for an entire lap there, it felt like. 5 more laps to go. I think Rodriguez is finally clear, but that 24 and 93 are going to make another send down the bottom.
Yeah, the thing these guys on the bottom don't have to worry about is tires, because that checkered flag is coming quicker and quicker by the lap.
Yeah, the only thing I gotta worry about those runs on the outside. You see, they already done the prod. Out back in second, but still can't clear that bottom line. Jovan is pushing it every opportunity he can, trying to get clear of that 20. Does he have it this time round? I think he does. Jovan Anderson to the lead. 4 laps to go. Big wobble out of Garson Moon in the back. And it's official. Point of no return. No more cautions from here on. It's a race straight to the checkered.
Oh, Jovan trying to pinch the 20 there.
Not trying to give him any space.
Oh!
20 has to back out. That sends the 93 into the wall.
For sure, 93's not happy with that.
And Anderson's chances of winning this race are over. Down the back straightaway we go. Rodriguez on the outside.
Here comes Gino.
Benoni gets streaks at 3 wide for a second. Has to back out last minute to avoid contact. Does Dun the Prod have that move cleared?
Moyers into the 70!
Does. Contact in the back. That is a big accident there. Garcia Muyoung up and over, but we are still green. We have already hit the point of no return. We're going to race to the end. And look who's in third out of nowhere. Nicholas Bedimlik.
Where'd he come from?
Where did he come from?
And
out of
Gino.
Number 2, Benoni in first. LaPrade in second. Moyers and Bedimlik right now fighting for that 3rd place position.
Where'd Moyers come from?
Track has now cleared itself up out of that big wreck there in 1.
Oh, he's taking that bottom lane there.
They're trying to get as low as they can right now. Oh, Benoni into the wall.
Going low.
Hang on to that lead. He's blocking every line that he can right now, all the way down to that apron. But here comes LaPrade with a run onto the outside, side by side, with 2 laps to go.
Oh, he's gonna pinch LaPrade here. Oh, he backs it up too far. I don't know, it might work.
68 almost gave himself a bit of a mid-corner bump draft. That's Joshua Myers. And Jovan Anderson, we thought his race was over a few laps ago with that right into the outside wall. He's back in 3rd. So maybe it's not quite over yet for that 93 car. Benoni still in the lead. Out of turn number 4 we go. Coming to the white flag. And contact there at the back. That's a 68 and a 74. They're going to go around. They're going to collect more cars. Thomas Troxel involved. Thomas Troxel and Cole Rodriguez are believed involved. But into turn number 1 we go. Gino Benoni in the lead. Nicholas Bedimlik in second. Jovan Anderson in 3rd. Does that number 3 car have anything for that 24-4? That's been easily one of the most dominant cars all day. Down the back straightaway for the final time.
Trying to cut that draft away, but I think he's got it here.
Yeah, I don't think as much that 3 can do. He's cutting it all the way down to that inside line he can. I don't think he's lifting. He's going to try, see if he gets that route done. Can't quite make it.
Oh, they're both the wall!
Never mind, he both the wall. Side by side of the checkered flag.
Gino's got it by a nose.
He's got it.
What a finish.
Gets hooked at the checkered flag. Now gets hit. There's multiple cars up in the air. But Benoni is your winner. I thought for sure Badimlik couldn't get that run done, but he
Wow.
somehow got there last second, but it just was not enough.
Wow. I'm gonna have to just look back at everything that happened. Holy moly.
There was a lot that unfolded in those last 7 laps.
Alright.
And I know Garson flipped over. I did not check back and see how he was having at the front, but
I'm gonna do that right now. I don't imagine the 24 is gonna be able to do a burnout.
oh, I was gonna try. Was there a car that didn't get involved in a wreck there towards the end?
Hard to say. I think,
What a finish as Benoni now has made their way around the track back to the front straightaway. Even though there is a hole in the side of that car, he's still going to try and burn it down. What a race. Yeah, that right there. I think the only car that retired in any of those last minute wrecks was that 51 of Steven Gibson. They are marked 20th out of the race. Overall, 20 finishers, if you include the 2-lap down car that is Talaziz. What? There's definitely a race of comers and goers, but the car that stayed up there the most out of anyone today was Gino Benoni, and that is what puts him in victory lane today. What a showing by that number 2014.
yeah, that was. Then that last lap, getting hit in the wall, and then Nicholas Badimlik he just straight full set in that corner, also hit the wall, but he had enough run to get underneath him. Didn't have enough to pass him, but sure made an interesting finish. That'll be a nice screenshot, I'd imagine.
Yeah, if Benoni doesn't hit the wall there at the end, I think he has that race won, no matter what. But that hitting him in the wall there is exactly what gave Badimlik enough of a run to get to that inside. It wasn't enough to clear him, so he tried to send him around there at the last moment, but it was just too little, too late. And while spinning out sideways off the nose of that 3 car, Gino Benoni is your winner.
Gotta take a look at these last few wrecks here on the broadcast. Holy moly.
Absolute carnage to end this race.
Body shop's gonna be busy.
This will be a long night for a lot of these teams.
Have to get the free cam for this one.
And the one with Garson got bumper hooked off the 68, sends him around into the 51, and it looked like he was about to keep it going, but that last minute hit from the 44 Kirsten not only sends him around, it sent that 70 of Garson Moonyoung up and over.
Nice.
And that car still managed to finish, albeit in 19th, but that was just one of 2 big incidents there coming to the checkered.
I forget who the other one was. The other one was with Prad, right?
Yeah, it was a prod.
Come to the white. Yeah, him and Moyers got together.
Yeah, him and Warriors got together out on the wall in turn 4, and someone else had a car go over there. I don't know who that was. Yeah, him and Moyers get stuck on the wall in 4 together.
Wow.
Nothing.
Troxel
Yeah, Troxel tries to take avoiding action. That sends him around. Cole Rodriguez, after all day of avoiding these incidents, nothing he could have done that one. And what?
Yeah.
Talk about some airtime for Thomas Troxel there. Back into the car, goes up into the air. If he didn't get hit by the 68, that would have been a car fully up and over. Would have given Ryan Priest a run for his money, but
That's gonna be an interesting trick shot as well. Landed it too.
absolute hell of a final few laps there.
Wowza. Not a lot of cars at the finish line either. Holy moly.
Most of them were deceased at that point, but Nicholas Bedimlik quietly was working his way up through the races. All tried at the very last second to get the job done, just fell ever so short. And it is Gino Bononi, your winner here at Auto Club. I believe this is his first win of the season.
Wow.
Yes, it is. So,
Crazy
first
wreck for
win
Truxton.
of season 14 for that number 24 car. He's the only person. There was Tala, but he left. He's the only other person in that waiting room booth. You want to join in?
All right. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm just gonna have to give him the password real quick. I can try dragging him in.
Insufficient permissions.
Let me DM him real quick. Do you want to just join him down there, actually?
I'll say you want to do it, sure.
Alright, might as well.
Channel switched.
Alright, so, I don't have moving
Buddy
perms,
joined your
so,
channel.
we're just gonna
Yeah,
do
we're
it
in
from
here now.
Okay.
This is like a group interview, except it's still only you because no one else came in here.
Yeah,
I mean, there is
other-
Matt over there
Okay.
in the corner, but he just kind of been here the whole time.
Yes, but
But, yeah, that was one heck of a finish. Take us through it, man.
I mean, I hadn't really done a lot of the short run stuff because most of the race I was trying to settle in for a long run that kind of never happened. So when I got there, there was going to be like a 10-lap dash to the end or however long it was. I wasn't feeling very confident about it, but I gave
User
it my
joined your channel.
best shot, and I really thought that we were going to end up once.
User left your
I
channel.
think it was Dunn who got by me, and I got stuck in the middle. I thought that was going to be it for me, but luckily I got myself back up front, and then a bunch of chaos happened behind me, and that set me up pretty good. And then come to the line, I nicked the wall off of 4 because I'd been pushing my tires so hard that I gave Budim like a shot at me, but I just barely held on to it.
Dang.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those races where just consistently being up there at the front, you were one of the few cars that didn't really come and go like a lot of them did, and as a result, you were the one that ended up taking home the crown away. How difficult was it up there to hold that lead for as long as it did? Not even just the lead, really, just that front pack most of the day.
It wasn't horrible because I was following Dunn most of the day. And I was learning a little bit, and once I felt like I had it figured out, I went up front and then tried to just control the pace of the people behind me. But I felt right before that last caution that my tires were starting to go and the pack was closing back up to me, and I got that very lucky caution that kind of saved my race. But it was on that last run, it was very difficult to keep everyone behind me. The draft here was pretty extreme, and it was really hard to keep people behind you if they wanted to get around you. And with there being like 4 or 5 lanes that could, in theory, work, it was really hard to guard all of them at the same time.
Well, congratulations on the win. I think next week they're going to,
Homestead.
oh yeah, Homestead. You got anything in that you think, be interesting for Homestead, or just a week by week case?
I think it'd be fairly similar to here, to be honest. Kind of run the top, save the tires. I think it's a fairly similar to drive track, just with a lot more banking and less lanes. So I think it'll be pretty interesting seeing that this track was very good, and Homestead usually puts up a pretty good race. So I'm pretty excited about going to Homestead.
Yeah, Homestead's gonna be a lot similar on this one, is where you're gonna have a lot of lanes to work with there. Today
Yeah.
was mostly a top dominant lane. Everything's gonna be a lot the same for Homestead. So does that give you a good feeling?
Yeah, I felt like I had figured out the top here after following Dunn for a while, so I think that'll translate to Homestead pretty well.
All right.
Well, then we'll see you then. Thank you for your time.
Of course, also I see Tala's kind of lingering in a different room, so
Oh
if you want to go talk to him.
well, we'll see what he's up to.
Channel switched. Channel switched. User joined your channel.
Wake up.
Well,
It's the first of the month.
One
oh,
interviewed?
it is. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I want to go cool off a little bit afterwards. I first was gonna like be in the waiting room, but then I was like, I'm gonna go cool off first before.
Damn, that
I
would
see
have been
something.
peak, man. What the fuck?
I already. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, so overall, it was a bit of a rough race with you stuck in the trenches most of the day. What happened there at the end that knocked out your chances of a good result today?
67 deciding to block for 15th place because I guess I don't know what the plan was there. I had inside, he turned down, and I went down, slightly overcorrected it because I was not. I mean, I probably should have expected because he tends to race like a jackass everywhere. But hey, what do I know? I guess. But he did the same thing to the 27. He's been pissing everyone off this entire race, but he's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not here to make friends" or something like that. So, frustrating. It was pretty hard to pass because you had the outside line get a lot of momentum early in the run. But I like to think I had speed to get a decent result, but unfortunately, nothing to show for it at the end. So.
Yeah, it definitely was one of a race of attrition today. How do you feel during Homestead next week?
I haven't raced Homestead in IFAR in a minute, but last time I did there, I did alright, so if I just figure out how to manage my tires at that Homestead, it should be a decent race for me, but man, I'd like to get the season turned around. It's been a rough season for me, so yeah.
Alright, well, we'll see you then. Hopefully it goes a lot better, given what happened last time. Well, not last time, what happened tonight, but best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Buddy disconnected from your channel.
Well, I think that's everybody.
Yeah. Overall, it was one of those races of all time.
Get some
I
good
don't
photos
really
after
know.
this one.
Don't really know what else to say after that, but it happened.
Oh well.
And so, for all of those watching at home, we'll see you next week in the IFAR Championship for race number 7 at Homestead Miami Speedway. In terms of other events going on, tomorrow is DSRA at Iowa, and where's Gnarl? Gnarl's actually not racing until what, Friday?
Well, they just finished the season, so
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, they're
offered.
deceased. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. Same day next week. So yeah.
Alrighty. Yippee.